操作で強化したどの弾力を一気に押し出してパワーに変えるか。マウンドマン、弾のこととは言えて妙だ。だが、まだ足りない部分がある。体で覚えるのが一番早い。
Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Now we finally know Rayleigh's bounty. At last, we have information that leads us to uncover the bounty of Rayleigh, the Dark King, something that has remained hidden until now. And it's going to surprise you as it ranks among the highest in the entire world. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, if we carefully analyze the One Piece universe, it becomes clear that the bounties assigned to each pirate are not just a measure of power, but a direct reflection of the threat they pose to the world government and the magnitude of their achievements. The case of Silver's Rayleigh, the legendary Dark King and the first mate of the Pirate King, is one of the greatest mysteries regarding his bounty. And only now do we have information to speculate about it. While his bounty has never been officially revealed, we can build a solid theory about how it might be assessed by considering historical factors, comparisons to other characters, and the criteria the world government uses to determine bounties. Rayleigh's bounty is still higher than Luffy's today, and now you'll understand why. To start, we can use as a reference the giants Dory and Brogy, who were pirate captains 120 years ago, and each had bounties of 100 million berries during their active years. Now, 120 years later, their bounties have been adjusted for inflation to 1.8 billion berries. This gives us an indication of how time and reputation can influence the perceived value of a pirate, even if they are inactive. If pirates like Dory and Brogy, who were known for their strength but did not necessarily directly threaten the pillars of the world government, reached such high figures, then Rayleigh, with his unparalleled legacy, is undoubtedly on a completely different level. Rayleigh was not just any ordinary pirate. As you know, he was the right-hand man of Gol D. Roger, the man with the highest bounty in history, which remains unbeaten to this day, at the staggering amount of 5.5648 billion berries. Being the first mate of the Pirate King alone places him at a level of prestige and danger that few in the world have ever reached. During the height of his career, Rayleigh was directly involved in all of Roger's great feats, including the discovery of the legendary Laugh-Tail Island, which holds the secrets of the Void Century. Simply reaching the end of the Grand Line and learning the truth about the world would have been enough to put him in the world government's crosshairs. Remember, the mere act of attempting to decipher the poneglyphs was enough for the government to order the destruction of Ohara through the devastating Buster Call. Similarly, Vegapunk's recent curiosity about the Void Century mobilized not only an admiral like Kizaru, but also one of the 5 elders, Saturn. This demonstrates the world government's obsession with eliminating anyone who knows these secrets. Moreover, while Rayleigh is one of the most intelligent characters, he was not merely a scholar of history. He was also an elite fighter, capable of going toe-to-toe with legendary marines like Garp, the hero who hunted Roger for decades, and Sengoku, the retired fleet admiral. Facing these two titans and surviving is no small feat, and it certainly contributed to the weight of his reputation. Decades later, in his old age, we saw Rayleigh confront Kizaru, one of the most formidable admirals of the current era at Sabaody. Even without being in his prime, he managed not only to hold off the admiral's attack, but also to protect the rookies on the archipelago, something only someone with exceptional hockey skills could accomplish. This feat alone places Rayleigh on par with figures like Shanks and Mihawk in terms of strength and skill, and possibly at a higher level in the past. And speaking of them, Shanks currently has a bounty of over 4.048 billion, while Mihawk has over 3.5 billion. This already makes us think about Rayleigh, but it's worth remembering that we are talking about a bounty from about 50 years ago. Now, when considering Rayleigh's accomplishments, it's important to remember that he didn't just participate in significant historical events, he was instrumental in shaping the pirate era. He was present when Roger became the first man to claim the title of Pirate King, and his position as first mate means he was responsible for leading the crew and executing Roger's plans. This makes him not only an exceptional strategist, but also a formidable fighter. While Dory and Brogy were recognized for their individual strength and rivalry, Rayleigh led a crew that included legends like Scopper Gaban, Oden, and Roger himself. Comparing Rayleigh to Dory and Brogy would be like comparing a war general to 2 skilled warriors. The scale of his influence and the impact of his actions are incomparably greater. Another crucial aspect in determining Rayleigh's Rayleigh's bounty is how directly he threatened the interests of the world government. Beyond knowing the secrets of the Void Century and the One Piece, he also challenged the greatest figures of the Navy on multiple occasions. The fact that Rayleigh is so difficult to capture and is still considered a threat decades after his retirement only reinforces his status as a living legend. Unlike Dory and Brogy, who were isolated in Little Garden for centuries and posed no active threat to the world government, Rayleigh remained an influential figure, even training Luffy, the man who inherited Roger's will and ushered in the new pirate era. If we consider the factor of time, Rayleigh's actions 52 years ago are much more recent than those of Dory and Brogy, which took place 120 years ago. Even with the inflation that raised the Giants' bounties to 1.8 billion berries, Rayleigh's legacy as the Pirate King's first mate, combined with his direct actions against the world government, would justify a much higher bounty. For comparison, Shanks, who also has direct ties to Roger and maintains an active role as a Yonko, holds a bounty of just over 4 billion berries. While Rayleigh is technically retired, his knowledge and skills still make him a greater threat than a mere commander or crew captain. Rayleigh is even more dangerous than Shanks or any other Yonko. After all, what the world government fears most is the revelation of the Void Century's history. Currently, Rayleigh is the only known character who fully understands this history, knowing everything that transpired and even offering Robin the chance to learn it all. If anyone can reveal what Vegapunk has yet to uncover to the world, it's Rayleigh. This makes him the most dangerous person on the seas today. Even in his old age, Rayleigh remains one of the few characters in the world with the potential to completely disrupt the balance of power. His knowledge of the Void Century and the One Piece makes him a figure who, if he chose to act, could bring down the world government itself. Furthermore, his physical strength, hockey abilities, and combat experience place him on a level where few in the world could face him and emerge victorious. Considering all this, it's plausible to theorize that if Rayleigh's bounty were updated under the same criteria as Dory and Brogy's, it would easily reach 5 billion berries, placing him on par with Goldie Roger himself in terms of global threat. Another important point to consider is that Rayleigh's bounty would rank just below Kato's and Edward Newgate's. Newgate, known as the strongest man alive during his era, had a bounty slightly higher than Rayleigh's, while Kaido's was only marginally lower. This makes perfect sense when considering that Roger's bounty exceeds the second highest by several 100 million berries. It's also worth noting that both Kaido and Edward Newgate received their bounties relatively recently, as the Yonko Sea Emperors were only established 6 years before Luffy began his pirate journey. This means their bounties didn't require significant updates, as they were at their peak, dominating the Grand Line at the time. In contrast, Rayleigh's last bounty would have been issued over 25 years ago, meaning it would undergo significant adjustments, especially after his reappearance during the Worst Generations meeting in Sabaody. But what do you think about this? Do you believe Rayleigh deserves a bounty of 5 billion berries today for his accomplishments alongside Goldie Roger? Let us know in the comments. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.